Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to read about Robert Browning. So some basic information are written on the screen. You can see that he is born on 7th May 1812 and died in 12 December 1889. He is a Victorian poet married to Elizabeth Barrett, considered as master of the dramatic monologue. Famous works are Spite Paper of Hamilton, Man and Women, The Ring, and the Book. So this is some short information about it. And if we go in depth, so Robert Browning, as we have seen in the first, that he is born on 7th May 1812, and he was born in a very poetic or family. Like his father has some rich collection of rare books, and the mother was a woman of deep religious conviction. So he had inspiration, or he had inherits the form of writing poetry. And after it he had came in the influence of Bryon and Shelley, and later he was influenced, or he influenced some other also. He thinks that poetry could have colors, radiance, passion and melody. So his thought was that poetry could have more colors, radiance and passion and melody also. So he is a Victorian poet. He is contemporary of Tennyson. He is known for his intellectual vigor and his psychological studies of human nature. So he is also known about his intellectual vigor and psychological studies of human nature. Browning grew up literally in an environment of arts. Educated mostly at home, he was well versed in arts and their appreciation. The most important event of his life, like the point number, that he had married Elizabeth Barrett. So he met Elizabeth at the year 1845, and Elizabeth Barrett was herself was a poet and a very big follower of mm, Robert Browning. So after it, they fell in love almost the instant they met. After it, they eloped with each other and they married. They live in Italy at Pisa, a place in Italy, then Florence and Rome, until the death of Elizabeth. So Elizabeth was dead in 1861, and we see that they met in 1845. So for a very short time period they live together. And after it, when they go Italy, Florence and Rome, at the end Elizabeth was dead in 1861. After it, Robert Browning came to London again, and this personal experience can be seen in his various poems like One Word More and By the Fireside. Bryon writes, "Take away love and our earth is doomed." Bryon has written a famous line that if you take away the love, the earth is like a tomb. The earth is like a graveyard. No, nothing will be left here if you take away the love. Their letters reveal a real intellectual and spiritual kinship, and inviolable and intense love, and a wonderful critical penetration. He returned to England after Elizabeth's death and settled in London. So he was a prolific writer, and through his poem had appeared regularly since the early beginning of in 1833. So he had started in 1833, but there was no such a big following of his work. So he has to wait for some time in to 1868 to 69, and after it he got a large number of followers, and at the end he died in Venice in 1889. And if we go through his famous work, so his first volume name is Pauline, appeared in 1843, and his last work is Esolendo in 1889, on the day of his death. So the last work was published on the day when he was dead. Some other work is dramatic lyric Man and Woman, and The Ring and the Book, etc. So we can see he is a very great poet, and he has uh, invented poetry beautifully and sensual musical and melodies. And he says he has used soliloquy in his poem, where the characters speak out either to himself or to an audience, but never interpreted in his inspired utterance. So he has used soliloquy in his each poem, and he has written all the things which he had experienced in his life. And we can see that his interest is in the individual self as it reveals itself in its encounter with the circumstances. In his poem everything, words, cadence, and all other formal elements, serve one single purpose: to show the individual being shaped by the situation, in the process finding himself or showing himself. Therefore his poems are not to be read a record of those dramatic moments when the soul declares itself, shows the progress it had made towards the goal. Each poem thus is a record of an individual encounter with an ancient in development of his soul, and since he alone knows what is going in his soul at that particular moment, he is himself made to reveal it, and hence the form from into which the poems are cast in invariable dramatic and lyrical things. So we can say he is the father of dramatic monologue. He has invented the dramatic monologue, and his poem My Last Duchess is written in a dramatic lyric which appeared in 1842. So this was all about Robert Browning. He was such a great poet. He has um, taken various forms like soliloquy he has used, and his poetry is so melodious, sensuous, and he has given more radiance and more passion in poetry. So this was all about Robert Browning. In the next video we will discuss about his such poems. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like this then please subscribe the channel. Thank you.